Our second really challenging trading day on the year, down 20,000 on the day on the hypotheticals. On the 200K, down 6,000 on the 50K. Was able to mitigate some losses, cutting back intraday towards the end of the day, and so down less. So for the month, my live results are minus 32,750. Last month we were up 49,395. In trading, you have to keep perspective and look at the big picture. So we're up on the quarter with last month's gains and in October. So up on the quarter, up on the year. I'm pausing right now for my trading because I have to do some research and find I have some ideas that I want to research really. And so the market is really noisy right now, so it's really challenging. If you're a subscriber, you can continue to trade the stock index 16 setup, or cut back on that, or reduce your position size. The noise in the market is just off the charts. We've seen worst case days like this, $20,000, but not two in a row this frequently. We had one on the very first day, and we're just not getting the big days. The CPI number was released today. I went back and looked at the CPI results historically, going back to 2018, and there was nothing in here that says that CPI is bad. As a matter of fact, it's up 51,000. I'm showing $51,000 in gains since 2018. Trading on CPI day, there are some losing days. There's a $14,000 loser day. There's a $26,000 winning day. And based on the stock index portfolio, 2016 plus Blitz 5 is those are some of the gains and losses on CPI. There's some losing days and winning days, but there's nothing out of the norm that would say don't trade on CPI. These are the normal distribution as compared to what we normally trade. And so CPI just generated some massive noise today. Here is what we're looking at in the 24-hour charts. The CPI came out in the pre-market, and so it ran up here, created this big gap up, and you think, well, up 500 points, how much higher can it go? It can go. We've had some good days trading gap continuations. Not typically that much, but we're in the type of market environment where you can see outliers, and the market did a complete retracement, complete 100% retracement of this move. And so you see this even bigger picture that I want to show you is what happened in the NASDAQ and the volatility and the noise in this market. So on Friday, you see this sideways pattern in the NASDAQ, kind of sideways and choppy. At the end of the day, it sells off. And then yesterday, kind of sideways pattern, and then it rallies. So you get a sell-off, and then mean revert to a rally, and then let's look at the 15-minute chart, and you can see you had this sell-off right here, this sell-off, and then it rallies again and takes out these highs, and then rallies up here, then it comes back and takes out these lows. And so it's just all over the place, just extreme wild chop up and then down, takes out those lows, takes out those highs, and now I wouldn't be surprised to see it take out these lows. It's just a playground for the market makers, it feels like, and so there's no real buying and selling going on here. Just a lot of contention in this price action right now. It's very, very hard to trade. And so we're going to stop while we're up on the quarter in our managed trading. And so I want to show you the trades on the day and how difficult it was. So going over the E-mini S&P strategies, took Fader up on the day plus 375, and then Cobra 3 stopped out. And it would have been nice to have a bigger profit target here. You see the end of the day, you get this end of the day prop up. Had the market continued lower, I think we could have caught up if it would have continued lower, taking out yesterday's lows, because we had some short trades that were positioned. It could have done pretty well but then the end of the day came and we just started getting chopped up in this time period. So we had started out with long trades, they lost, rotated to shorts. Those were starting to become profitable. The market reversed and then chopped, and so it was just difficult. Prop and chop price action. Personally, I believe all this chop is based on the fact that the market should go lower, but the liquidity is here to support it, and it's just creating massive chop. Anxious for some resolution, and we may not see it till next year at this point. Took Fader down the day. The micro version did not get stopped out at that point, and so did a little better on the micro version. NASDAQ All these strategies were down on the day. We were 1 for 3 in the ES. In this workspace, we're 0 for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0 for 8 in this workspace. And so you see AT 2022, Viper has 2 losing trades. Tick pullback has a losing trade. It doesn't even, it gaps up, runs up, no continuation, reverses, doesn't fill the gap. And so if you're trying to buy the gap continuation in reverse, if you're trying to get out at the gap, or just very trading in such a way that's against everything that the market would normally do. And so robot down on the day once again, tick pullback, got Cobra 3, tick wave, tick reversal, couldn't get the short trade, tick pulse, couldn't get the long trade, blitz setup. The NASDAQ strategies in this setup were 1 for 4. And so momentum reversal had 1 losing trade and then 1 winning trade. So we had tick fader and momentum reversal were the only winners today. Tick retracer lost, trend select lost, adaptive moving average ES lost, VTNQ lost. And so a very choppy, noisy market. So I had to update the NQ. I said 1 for 9. It was 1 for 12, 2 out of 16 on the total trades. Just representative of the noise. Once again, it's not typical to have the 200K portfolio lose what it did on the first of the month and then lose now. Just several days later, on the 13th of the month, to have the same thing. Fortunately, we're able to make some adjustments, and we're up on the month in our managed account trading, and up on the not up on the month. We're up on the quarter and up on the year. Down the month, up on the quarter, based on last month in October, and up on the year. Going to pause here for some research. You don't have to pause. You can scale back. You can trade some of the stock index portfolio 16 setups and remove the blitz because it's gotten too volatile. But in general, this kind of volatility in this size of account, even with the 200K portfolio, you probably need to trade less strategies, which in that case you lose diversity if you trade less strategies, or you scale back and trade back to micros. You could trade, I would maybe consider this account size to be a 500K account with this kind of noise in the market, or $1 million account with this kind of noise in the market. You don't want to have $20,000 losing days on a $200,000 account on a market that doesn't really go anywhere. That's a 10% drop based on a market that doesn't go anywhere with just extreme noise. And so I have some research to do that will manage strategies intraday that I'm going to be looking at. This type of market is in this type of trading right now, and this type of noise is not a peaceful way to trade, and I don't like it. And so I'm going to pause personally, and I will let you know if I have some conclusive research on how to do stop losses intraday on a portfolio setup. You can do stop losses on individual strategies, but how do all these strategies see each other? And so you can say, yeah, if I'm down $3,000 on the day, I get out, and just ride your winners, cut your losers. If you're down $3,000 on the day, is that too tight of a stop loss for a portfolio like this? If we were down $3,000, would we just have lots of losing days and it'd be too tight, or should we stop at $5,000 per day? Certainly don't want to be in this $20,000 per day. So I've got my money management algorithms will allow me. It's very hard to test this, so I'm going to be spending a lot of time between now and the end of the year, and even in January, testing portfolio intraday stop losses to manage our risk better. So once again, that's the trading system setups on the day for December the 13th. Also, one more thing. These are the numbers as of Friday. This drawdown will, I guess, be about 41,000 right now, and so it's down. It was up yesterday 6,000, and then down 20,000 today. Also, the Fed. Should you trade on FOMC is a big question I get, and I might make another video about that. Like just as in CPI, there's nothing in this that says you shouldn't trade on FOMC. FOMC minutes this year have been tough, but FOMC statement, they're different. The FOMC statement is tomorrow, and then the FOMC minutes will come out in 3 weeks. And FOMC minutes are the ones that have been tricky this year. But don't trade on FOMC. If you set this to 1, it won't trade. It will zero out the trades on FOMC, simulating not trading on FOMC. So let's look at the year's results here. It's up 578,000. If I set this don't trade on FOMC, what do you get? You get $28,000 less if you don't trade on FOMC. So should you trade on FOMC? This says you're more profitable if you do, and overall you're more profitable if you trade on FOMC. This historically the drawdown goes up. You see the drawdown is 31,292.50. Now that will increase after today's trade, but you see 6,003% there. And then if you don't trade on FOMC, your total profit over drawdown goes down. I'm just not too confident that this market environment that we're experiencing right now in December doesn't just create just massive chop tomorrow on FOMC. It'll create massive chop the rest of the month. Maybe there'll be a trend. I'm going to sit out and do some research. And you're looking at this largest losing day of 14,000. We exceeded that, and so just the noise in this market continues to rise. In my electrical engineering, we studied signal to noise ratio, and signal to noise ratio is you have your signal here, you have your noise floor down here. As long as your signal is greater than your noise floor, you can hear the signal. But if your noise floor is up here, all in the signal, you can't really distinguish the signal from the noise, and that is exactly an analogy that we're going through right now. So those are the trades again on the day, and I will let you know when I have some of my latest research for our market portfolio. Hey, David Bean here. Welcome to Capstone Trading Systems YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe to join our community of algorithmic traders. We are real money traders. We share our winning streaks, we share our losing streaks, as well as market updates, strategies, and coding tips.